Hello, boys and girls. How much I love you and how much I miss you. Miss Jill is going to teach us about a story that Jesus told. We call Jesus' stories parables. God gave us the Ten Commandments. 10 helpful hints, 10 guidelines for how to live life fully and how to live life with happiness. These 10 commandments can be summarized in 2 commandments. First, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And the second half of that commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. One day, a lawyer came to Jesus and asked Jesus, who is my neighbor that I'm supposed to love? And Jesus then told this story of the Good Samaritan. And I won't tell you the story. That's what Miss Jill is going to do. But in the story, Jesus tells us who our neighbor is. So Miss Jill, it's all yours. We look forward to your lesson.
Hey, phew, this week really flew by. How about you guys? How's school going? How about those masks? Getting used to them? I bet you are. So this week, we're going to talk about the Good Samaritan. Anyone ever hear this story from the Bible? I don't think we've covered this one yet. So here's how it goes. It starts out with a man asking Jesus a question. Now, this man was very smart. He might have even been trying to trick Jesus to see if he was a good teacher or not. Because, we think of Jesus as a teacher. So this is what the man asked. Teacher, what should I do so I can go to heaven and live forever? Jesus replied, what is written in the Bible? What do you think? Well, the man answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus replied, that is right. Do this, and you will live forever in heaven. When we think about this, I'm pretty sure we understand love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. But what does it mean to love your neighbor as yourself? Let's talk about that. What if someone was walking along, minding their own business, and suddenly they were attacked by people they didn't know? What if they beat this poor person and left him lying along the road? Well, we will call this person George. Now, you would think whoever walked up on George would stop. But what if they didn't stop? What if they kept walking? Would that be the right thing to do? I mean, poor George is lying beside the road bleeding. Well, that's what happened. A couple of different people see poor George laying there and walk right on by. One even crossed the street so he wouldn't be too close to George. Let's pretend along comes another man who sees George laying along the road. We'll call this man Pete. The man recognizes him and knows this person is not always nice to him. He yells at him because he sometimes plays his music too loud, and George doesn't like it. And once his dog accidentally jumped up on him, and he doesn't like dogs. First of all, who doesn't like dogs? Anyway, back to the story. So Pete sees George laying along the road. It's obvious George is hurt. Now Pete thinks, should I stop and help? After all, George is not always a nice person. Pete thinks, what would Jesus want me to do? He then remembers the story of the Good Samaritan. Love your neighbor as yourself. So Pete stopped and helped George. Pete helped George up and into his house. Pete cleaned his wounds and put bandages on them. He made sure George was okay. He told George he would stop by later with groceries and to clean his wounds and put on fresh bandages. Pete showed George compassion. He was kind to him, and he helped him when he couldn't take care of himself. Pete treated George like he would want someone to treat him if he needed help. So we learned that to love our neighbor as ourselves is to show compassion and kindness to others, even if they haven't always been nice to us. Jesus tells us to go and do the same, just as Pete did for George. So today's craft is all about that saying. Remember, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So, you should all have an empty toilet paper roll, just like this. Yes, funny, Mom and Dad were told ahead of time to save one. So, what's going to be included in your kit? Yay, craft kits are going out this week. What's going to be included is tissue paper, bandages, some stickers, and who doesn't need a hug or a kiss if they're sad? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our toilet paper holder and we're going to take our tissue paper and we're going to wrap it around and we're going to scrunch up an end and we're going to tie a piece of ribbon around it. Ribbon will be included as well as your stickers. The sticker's going to hold it on. So then, we need to make our little compassion kindness kit, right? So see, it's empty. So we have a Band-Aid. We'll just tuck that in there because somebody might need it, right? And then we've got hugs that we're going to put in there because who doesn't need a hug, especially now? We're going to put them in there. And a couple kisses. Oh yeah. So now we have our little compassion kit. So now we're going to take the end and we're going to scrunch it up just like this. We got our ribbon. And we're going to tie it just like this and put a nice bow in it. Mommy and Daddy can help you if you can't make a bow. And there you have it. We've got a Band-Aid and we've got hugs and kisses in case we find somebody that needs us to show them kindness and compassion. So online you'll have your bulletins. Surprisingly, they're about the Good Samaritan. I know, you can't believe it. So everything will be in your kit for this. Your toilet paper holder will be somewhere around your house. Don't forget, you get to see me, but I don't get to see you. So I'd like to see what your kindness, compassion kit looks like. And I know you get tired of hearing me say it, but wear your masks, wash your hands, keep them away from your face, say your prayers. Be kind and be compassionate, because after all, that's what Jesus would want us to do. I'll see you next week.
Well, I hope you learned a lot today, and we're going to sing another one of our favorites, Color the World with Gladness. I think most of you remember it, so let's give it a shot. Follow along with the words. Color the world with gladness, color the world with joy, color the world with the rainbow of love, color the world with song. Let the colors of music fill the nations, reaching to the ends of the earth. Come, let us sing presence of God fills with the colors of God's love. Color the world with gladness. Color the world with joy. Color the world with the rainbow of love. Color the world with song. Color the world with song. Okay, everybody, have a good week.